All right, what is going on, everybody? Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being a part of the post-game show. Obviously, live here at the arena. The San Antonio Spurs all over the Lakers. That's it. 132 to 119, the final score. Lakers no longer moving up in the NBA Cup. Those days are over. So the Lakers, if you kind of jumped ahead to this game and thought, oh, no Victor Wembanyama, the Lakers are going to not cruise by the San Antonio Spurs, but think, okay, they have the advantage. They're getting Marcus Smart back. All their players are available. All their players are healthy. If you thought that was going to be the case, well, definitely wasn't. I know I mentioned it this morning, just kind of throwing it out there that the San Antonio Spurs were a really good team, even without Victor Wembanyama. They had won 8 of their last 11 games without Wemby, and continue to show that they're a team to reckon with. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen when they go up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Maybe it's going to be exactly how every other team has gone up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. But Lakers against the Spurs tonight, all San Antonio. They punched. They threw the first punch. They threw the second punch to start the second half. They were all over the Lakers. I think there were plenty of different times that you could watch this game and just see a more connected Spurs team, less complaining. I felt the Lakers were complaining to the refs all game. I thought there were plenty of moments during the game over a course of 48 minutes where San Antonio just rolled up their sleeves and like, all right, we're going to run you out of the gym. We'll play up and down. We'll play an aggressive style. We'll get to the free throw line. We'll hit our threes. And the Lakers were 2 steps behind the entire game. So certainly not what you were hoping for in this game. I'm listening. I got JJ Redick. I can kind of hear him talking a little bit here. And I'm looking at a stat here. You guys remember I did the show this morning, and I appreciate you guys being here, by the way. If you guys don't mind, please subscribe to the channel. I'll look, obviously, at a lot of the comments as we go through the post-game show tonight. There's a stat here on Spectrum. The Lakers, 122 points allowed in the last 6 games. If you guys listened this morning, I mentioned that there were a lot of people kind of downing what the Lakers have done so far, primarily just because of one, well, you could say a couple of reasons, but one primary reason. One primary reason was you got to get stops. You got to be able to play defense. And this was something that we were hitting on this morning. Let me just give you the Lakers, how many points they gave up by the quarter. By the end of the first quarter tonight, they had given up 39. By halftime, they had given up 70. By the time the third quarter started, they had given up 104 points. Guys, I don't have to sit here and tell everybody, you're not going to win many games if you're giving up that many buckets on a not even just a night in, night out basis, but any game that you play where you're giving up that many points, that's going to be an issue. That's going to be a problem. I don't have to explain to you guys. You guys know how the game works. But you're just, there's nothing, you can't keep yourself in a game if you're not getting any stops, if you're not playing any defense. We've listened to some broadcasts before, and I've sat here and I've told you guys through some of these games, you could even look at that road trip that the Lakers had against the Philadelphia 76ers. Michael was on the broadcast in that game. He was doing it with Billy Mack, and there's a point that they were mentioning in the game. Lakers weren't scoring, and I remember Michael saying, yeah, but it's okay. As long as they could get stops on one end, they'll be fine on the other end. That was not the there was no portion of this game tonight that you thought the Lakers were going to be able to hang in this game because of their, obviously their ineffectiveness from the defensive side. All right, let's get into some of the individual players. There's a lot, obviously, we can hit on. I know a lot of people want to react. Unfortunately for the Lakers, when you got a game like this, most of the reaction is going to be negative, but it comes with the territory. You're 17-7 now, if I'm right off the top of my head. You've had a lot of games that you've won. We've had a lot of opportunities to talk about how good things have been for the Lakers. Well, we also got to be very, very critical when you have games like this. And I think there's a bigger picture kind of developing here that is worrisome, and it is the defensive side of things. Again, maybe there's some benefit of having games like this and knowing that you can't play defense on December 10th. You'd have it in December, then have it in February, because if it happened on February 10th, you can't improve your team. You can't change your team. Okay, some of the individual players here, I kind of want to go up and down and talk about some of the players here. And there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of people that we're going to have to be critical on tonight. Where do you guys want me to start? You guys tell me which player you want me to start on, because I think there's a number of players that we can talk about. Even guys that had good stats, I can talk about, some other portions of their play that I think wasn't all that great. So who do you guys want me to hit on? And we can go from there. Let me start. Let me start with this here real quick. Let me find this one. There's a lot of suggestions here where people want me to start. I can go in so many different directions. I just want to kind of some people want me to go on the bench. Some people want me to go on Austin Reeves. Some people want me to go on Marcus Smart. I'm going to wait on Marcus Smart because I just don't really want to talk about something positive right now. I'd rather talk about something negative. So let's do that. This is a good one to start off with. Let's start. This is, obviously one of the first games where the Lakers had some production off the bench. If you take Marcus Smart out of the picture here, with Marcus Smart, let me do Marcus Smart. Let me do the Lakers bench. We'll kind of lump them together. Marcus Smart came back firing away 14 3-point attempts from Marcus Smart. Listen, every time he shot a three, I'm like, Marcus, what are you doing? Why are you taking another three, Marcus? He went 8 of 14 from the 3-point line. He only took 16 shots. He was 9 of 16 from the field, but he hit 8 threes for the Lakers. Listen, even in an L and even in a loss, this is nice just to see some production off the Lakers bench. We know how bad the bench has been. There's nobody you can rely on. I mean, I've hit on this a couple of times. The only player that I kind of have an idea of what he's going to bring to the table on a night-in, night-out basis is Jackson Hayes off the bench. That's the only player that I have any idea what he's going to do off the bench. It was nice to see Marcus Smart in there. It was nice to see Marcus Smart, obviously, running up and floor, gets his 28 minutes of play, certainly productive tonight. And frankly, I heard Danny Green saying it on Spectrum's postgame broadcast. He's doing it with Chris McGee and also with James Worthy. But I heard him say, and I think he was making a great point right before I came on, that if it wasn't for Marcus Smart, the Lakers probably lose this game by a lot more. And you probably don't even realize that the game could potentially have been a much bigger blowout. But nice to see Marcus Smart do what he did. Other than Marcus Smart, where the hell do we talk about with the bench? There ain't no bench on the Lakers. Look, by the way, if you look at the other side, 17 for Keldon Johnson. Champagne with, 16 points. Dylan Harper had 13 points. Dylan Harper is a nice young player. I'm going to spend some time in a little bit here. Not yet. I'm going to have to give kudos to the San Antonio Spurs. They got a squad too. I mean, there's another young team. Without Victor Wembanyama, you put up 132 on the Lakers. Now, you guys remember, Lakers already beat the San Antonio Spurs this year, but when they did beat them, that was without De'Aaron Fox, which is obviously a huge piece for them that was missing. But going back to the Lakers bench, it's going to be huge to have Marcus Smart in here, but it's also something that we got to pay attention to, obviously. There's not a guy on this Lakers team that you can really look at from a bench perspective and say, hey, I know what this guy's going to give me. Jake LaRavia only played 9 minutes tonight. Dalton Knecht played 1 minute. Jackson Hayes plays 12 minutes. I'm fine with Jackson Hayes. I don't got any issues with him. Gabe Vincent played 14 minutes. You know how many points Gabe Vincent had? Gabe Vincent had the same amount of points as me and 4 other of you guys out here, and we'll go run fives, and all of us will have 0 points together because that's how many points Gabe Vincent had. They just don't have a bench. So they need their starters to be perfect every single night. They need their starters to be great. Obviously, that's not possible, and that's not going to be happening. So it just kind of, you guys wanted me to start on the bench? All right, there's the bench. There's the bench for you. Hopefully that gives you guys an idea from that perspective. I give it to the Spurs. They had all the answers. Yeah, Spurs, I'll wait on the Spurs. Let me wait. This one I'm honestly maybe starting to get a little bit confused about. If your squad is having trouble playing defense, maybe you want to play the guy that's only on your team that is supposed to be playing defense. I mean, I don't think that's too crazy to mention or too crazy to ask, but I can't really tell you why Vando's not getting too many opportunities when you've already given up over 100 points by the time the fourth quarter has even started. Maybe strategically you kind of start trying some different things. Now, listen, look. Let's be honest with each other here, too. The Lakers have been winning games. It's not like they've been getting crushed. They lost to Phoenix, they lost to Boston, and then they lost this game to the San Antonio Spurs. So they've lost 3 of their last 5 games. But it's not like the Lakers are on this, crazy, crazy run where they've been so bad and they have no shot or they have no chance. But trying something different wouldn't be a terrible idea. Okay, let's see what we have here. I got some people here saying no adjustments. All right, let's start talking about some of the starters here. Let's go Austin Reeves first. What's going on with Reeves? I think a couple things for me, because we could sit here and say, oh, well, Austin Reeves is we could say Austin Reeves doesn't play well against teams like this. We can make that assumption, right? A team that's super athletic, certainly a good squad, young, can throw a bunch of different defenders, guys with length. We could kind of make that excuse left and right when it comes to Austin Reeves. But we also saw Reeves in a game against the Toronto Raptors where they had something similar. They had a lot of young players, a lot of talented players. They had a lot of guys that you just kind of assumed would give Austin Reeves trouble. And Austin Reeves cooked a lot of those guys, a lot of them. Reeves, here's the one thing that I would tell you that's frustrating with Austin Reeves. If he's not getting to the free throw line, Reeves is going to have trouble. And a lot of it is also going to be dictated on how are the referees calling the game. Well, if you're not getting to the free throw line and you're not able to draw fouls, you gotta throw a plan B in there. I think there's too many times Austin Reeves is trying to get to the basket by drawing a foul. And I think, he's had so much success doing that. There are times that you watch Austin Reeves and it's like, all right, hey, listen, your slider's not working today. Try your fastball. Try something different. I'm not a big fan of players that are consistently trying to hunt fouls or draw fouls, but I get if it's working, why you're going to continue to do it. It makes all the sense in the world. If Austin Reeves is able to get to the, obviously to get to the free throw line, he's going to try to take advantage of it. A game like tonight, he took 1 free throw. He's 6 of 16 from the field. Now, I'm going to give him credit from this perspective. Still had 7 assists, still had 8 rebounds. So it's not like Austin Reeves wasn't trying to do other things, but as a team, the Lakers, obviously not good enough. Okay, let me keep going down the list of some of the other players. Rui tonight, 8 points. 1 rebound for Rui Hachimura. Rui took 4 shots. Now, part of this is difficult, too, because I can't just sit here and, go at the Lakers just from an offensive perspective and say, oh, well, Rui didn't do enough offensively, and Reeves couldn't hit any shots. The problem for the Lakers, it was the defense. But as you look at some of the individual stats, Rui obviously underwhelming, Austin Reeves underwhelming. Those 2 players kind of stuck out to me. Ayton, 11 points, 8 rebounds, pretty quiet. I really didn't feel Ayton's presence. He only took 9 shots, which leaves me with LeBron and Luka left to talk about from the starters' perspective, and I'll do that in just a second. But let's start taking a look at some of the comments. Bench points, by the way, 48 to 31. Free throws, 36 to 23. So the San Antonio Spurs, 29 to 36 from the free throw line. Lakers free throws, 17 of 23. So Lakers took a lot less free throws. Fast break points obviously going the other way. And big difference from that perspective. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. What happened with Reeves tonight, Alan? I don't have an answer for you, buddy. I think, give the San Antonio Spurs some credit. Give them some credit for what they were able to do against the Lakers. But, I think Reeves sometimes, it looks like he's in rhythm and he looks like nobody can stop him. And then there's also times where Reeves looks like he's almost in his own head a little bit as well. And you get a couple of stops on him, and then you follow that up with, outside of those stops, you follow that up with not getting to the free throw line, and it feels like that kind of throws off his whole game. All right, people are already throwing everything out here. They're already throwing trades out everywhere. Okay, we'll wait on the trades today. Luka's here to sell tickets, not win championships, but Laker fans don't want to hear that. You think Lakers have trouble selling tickets? I think their ticket sales are fine. I think their ticket sales were fine before Luka with LeBron and AD. I think their ticket sales were fine with Kobe. I think their ticket sales were fine with Gasol, with Shaq and Kobe. Lakers don't have an issue getting stars and getting butts in seats. I think that part is fine. I don't think that's the overall game plan. I think the Lakers can sell seats in their sleep. That part I don't think is the issue. But I think what makes the Lakers very, very unique and one of the more historic franchises in all sports is they can get stars and they could also win championships. That's what makes them iconic. There's only a few franchises like that, right? I think if you look at, I don't know, think of some of the more iconic franchises out there. What a lot of them have in common is they win, right? You could say the Knicks are an iconic franchise. They haven't won in a while. You could say the Cowboys are an iconic franchise. They haven't won in a while. But Luka ain't here to just sell tickets. Don't get me wrong. That's part of the strategy and the plan, and sell jerseys and sponsorships, all that stuff, of course. And Luka is such a sellable product. So absolutely, there's some truth to what you're saying. But if you think the goal is just to sell tickets, then you don't know the Los Angeles Lakers franchise. The franchise has been winning for a long time. They're about more than just selling tickets. Let's see what we got here. There were some clear fouls that the refs didn't call, but definitely were giving San Antonio. Also, why the hell did JJ get a tech and Luka got in his face? Even the announcers were like, that ain't it, I think is what you're saying there. Let me say this about Luka here. Let's spend a few minutes on Luka. All right? I'm going to be critical on Luka tonight. Let me tell you what I'm going to be critical about. Love watching Luka play. He's incredible. He's fantastic. Look at his numbers again tonight. Another 35, 8 and 5. That's what he does. A walking triple-double typically. Can drop 40, 50, 60 in a game. Let me give you a pet peeve about watching Luka for me. My brother bitches and complains way too much to the referees. And I think at times, like if you told me he was complaining to the referees, then okay, listen, maybe he's got a gripe. Oh, you know what? He got fouled and they didn't call it, this and that. But not 15 times a game. And I don't think it's helping him. When I say that is, I feel like when he's so focused on the referees and he's spending so much attention on the refs, that takes him out of his game. I mean, if I'm an opposing team out there and I see Luka complaining to the referee, I'm kind of saying to myself, all right, that might be a good thing. Well, we can't stop him. There's no way of stopping Luka. Luka can basically do whatever he wants offensively. There's no answer or solution to Luka. But if Luka's losing it with the referee, not getting back on defense, complaining about this, asking JJ to review it, all this stuff, that's the one area of Luka's game that's definitely annoying. He's a superstar. Superstars typically get calls. He kind of gets to do whatever he wants. JJ Redick's going to treat him differently than somebody else. That's what happens when you're the top 3-4 players in the NBA. You kind of do whatever the hell you want. But from my perspective, as somebody who's watching the game, every time I see Luka complaining, in my own head, I'm saying to myself, Luka, just get back on defense. All right, maybe they didn't call it this one time. It's fine. You're not going to get every call. He complains a ton. He's looking at those refs a ton. And listen, like I said, maybe there's certain plays out there that are completely fair, but at the same time, that's a lot of looking at the referees. Luka's actual night, 41 minutes of play, 35 points, 10 of 14 from the free throw line. Really where Luka struggled, he got into some foul trouble and kind of was in foul trouble all game. Had 5 personal fouls in this one. Had 3 in that first half. I mean, the world's not going to end. Obviously, the Lakers are going to play him. But for Luka, yeah, I thought there was a little bit of just too much of that. Okay, let's see. Luka gave up 40 to Fox Castle on D today. Wants to complain to the refs. Okay, we'll come back. I want to talk about the San Antonio Spurs. I'm going to do that in a little bit. By the way, if you're here, you're hanging out. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Sorry we couldn't deliver you a win. Even came to crypto tonight. Actually, I thought the Lakers, I thought it would be a really tough game, but I thought they would win just because Wemby's not here. I'm like, okay, clear advantage here. Lakers kind of a a cool chance to go up again against the Oklahoma City Thunder and see how that game's going to go. Doesn't happen. So now the Lakers will kind of find themselves. They got a game coming up against the Phoenix Suns, who, by the way, just beat the Lakers a couple of nights ago. So that game's going to be interesting in itself when the Lakers take on the Suns. Let's see what else we got here. Why is everyone upset? This was a decided loss. What would be the reason for that? What would be the reason for that? You don't think the entire NBA wants the Lakers and the Thunder in Vegas? Of course they do. Luka was unprofessional tonight. He does get fouled, but he lets it affect his play on the court. Yeah, just too much. Too much. Lakers record is a fugazi. How dare you, bro? How dare you? All right, let me see some of these supers here, and then I got to hit on LeBron. I've yet to hit on LeBron. Why don't you guys what'd you guys think of LeBron's game tonight? LeBron's overall game tonight. What'd you guys think? Start putting your comments in. LeBron's going to be the next topic here. Just enjoying what I hope is the last flop. All right. Thank you, John, for the super. I appreciate it. Slee, Smart instead of Rui, the starting five. Tonight, this team couldn't even stop rookies of the Spurs. What a nightmare. I hope people didn't get, I hope you didn't get lost thinking that Marcus Smart is going to drop 8 threes for the Lakers on a night in, night out basis and say, hey, let's move this guy to the starting lineup. Here's why I would move Marcus Smart to the starting lineup. And I'm not telling you that the Lakers should do it. But the case that I would make is so you can play better defense as a team. That's it. I don't have another case. Maybe if you want to slide LeBron to the 4, that's another case to do that. You can go LeBron at the 4, obviously Ayton at the 5. You're good. I'm not powered up. Yep. Thank you, man. LeBron or Ayton at the 5, and then Luka on defense at the 3, Marcus Smart on defense at the 2, 1, whatever, whichever the better guard is. But that's also a pretty slow defensive team as well. Now, I understand it. You already got Rui in there as well, so it's not like Rui's going to be known for his speed. All right, let's get another super in here. Thank you, by the way, for the super. Al, Lakers have – you trade Reeves. Just think for a minute. He's going to be a liability on defense. They are picking on him. Or are you saying you have to trade Reeves? Yeah, I don't know if I want to play this, keep Reeves one night, trade Reeves the other night, give Reeves $40 million a year. Reeves isn't worth anything. I mean, I think there's going to be, and I understand that it's reaction to a game. Reeves has been unbelievable so far this season, and I don't think anybody can argue that. You just can't argue it. Reeves has been phenomenal so far this year. And you can't have a bad game and then all of a sudden everybody wants to jump ship and say, that's it, Reeves has got to go. This is not how it works. Reeves is going to be here. I think we all understand that, and I think it's all safe to say Reeves isn't going anywhere. Now, that doesn't mean that, obviously they can't entertain trades and everything else, but just a couple nights ago, we were talking about how great Reeves was. So I get in the moment how easy it is to kind of start shifting well, that wasn't good enough, then, this guy's got to go. I just think we're all over the place when we do that after every game. All right. Still got to talk LeBron. I'm going to do that here in just a second. I haven't changed my position on Reeves. He gets exposed by the good teams. Yeah, listen, look, if you guys remember, Lakers went 7-0 on the road trip. And I said that I'm really looking forward to seeing the Lakers start playing against teams that are above 500. They went 2-3 in the 5 games above 500. And they got another one coming up against the Phoenix Suns. So that's going to be another one versus teams above 500. Let me see here just to make sure. Yeah, and then that streak will end because then they got Utah, Clippers, Phoenix again. Then they'll start facing some better teams as well. Houston on Christmas. All right, let's want to trade him because the defense is terrible. Well, listen, as long as you're getting back a really good package for Austin Reeves, Reeves is an all-star caliber player in the NBA. So I'm never going to question people that say it's more about the fit with Luka. I'm never going to question people that say that because I understand that perspective there. But I want to also defend Austin Reeves because he's also a phenomenal, phenomenal player, and he's been really good for the Lakers this year. I'll tell you what the Lakers are not. They're not 17 or they're not. Let's see what their record is now. See what the Lakers are. They're not 17 and they just get another loss. Shouldn't they be 17-7? I'm trying to do this on the fly here. They don't have the record they have without Austin Reeves this year. They just don't. Austin Reeves has been brilliant this year for the Lakers. So I'm not going to kind of waver here game to game because I know obviously this happens. You win games, you lose games, you struggle in games over 500, and Reeves got a lot to do that. All right, let's talk LeBron here. Let's talk LBJ. Here's LeBron's night tonight. Okay. And I know a lot of people are going to point at certain stats, which is fine. LeBron shot 7 of 14 from the field. He had 19 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists, along with 3 block shots. Statistically, had as good of a night as anybody in regards to just his overall game. The 15 rebounds, the 8 assists. Lakers were never really in this game. You know, the biggest highlight that would come from the Lakers is probably LeBron's dunk, but I don't know. I some of that stuff to me, when you're getting blown out, it's more difficult to pay attention to a dunk when you got no shot at winning the game. But that was in the first half. That was actually, I wrote that in my notes. It was one of the, I would say, biggest moments to kind of swing the game. First half was about to end. LeBron gets a dunk. All of a sudden, Lakers are down 8. The crowd is going crazy. Then LeBron gets a block. Then on the other end, looks like Austin Reeves is going to get a layup, and Cornette blocks him, and then that's it. The Spurs end up going on a run, and then they start the second half on another run, so Lakers end up, obviously there was always this cushion up until the very end, but I don't think the Spurs were going to give up that lead no matter what happened. But LeBron's – I want to read some of these comments here. LeBron had one highlight dunk and disappears in the second half. LeBron needs to figure out what his role is going to be. Players look lost when he's on the court. Okay. All right. Let's get some more here. I just want to read some of these and we'll kind of react to it as we go. Reeves is not the issue. It's no bench and 0 defense. Yeah, I will say that, at the end of the day, I mean, you play no defense, you got no shot. We'll kind of continue to hit on that. All right, let's read a couple more of these here. No Vegas for LeBron. Okay, well, LeBron wasn't playing and Bron defense isn't that good too. All right, I don't know what that one's referring to. Shit, guy had a good game, but his plus minus had one of the worst on the Lakers. Only player that was worse than the plus minus was Jake LaRavia, minus 25. By the way, if I could just say this here real quick, LaRavia's got to be a lot better. I mean, the Lakers, they chose a player, and I know LaRavia's had some moments, so we'll give him some credit when he's had some of those moments. But the Lakers, just very simply put, made a decision. Let's not go after Dorian Finney-Smith, who we traded D'Angelo Russell for, and 3 second-round picks. And let's go get Jake LaRavia because he's younger and because he's cheaper. That's really why they went out and got him. I mean, if you're trying to make a run this year, you're going to tell me that you want Jake LaRavia on your team through the first couple of months over Dorian Finney-Smith. Now, I know Finney-Smith was injured. I don't know if he's still injured, whatever the case is, but what's going on with Jake LaRavia? I mean, that was supposed to be one of the players that the Lakers went out and got in order to just kind of help out an older team. I don't know what the hell LaRavia is going to give the Lakers on any given night. I got no idea what he's going to give the Lakers on any given night. But the LaRavia piece of this has been a little bit all over the place. And I think there's a piece of me that's watching Jake LaRavia. I'm like, this guy's just in his own head. I got people on here saying that he's too indecisive. I'm not 100% sure he knows what to do when he's on the floor. And the worst part about it is I like his game. I do think that he has a lot of ways to potentially contribute for the Lakers. He's got good size. I like all of that. But it feels like he's in his own head. Reminds me a little bit of Connect. Just these guys are in their heads, or they're not getting, when they're getting opportunities, they're it's almost like there's too much pressure on them that if they don't make it happen, they feel like, all right, well, my opportunity is going to go away. Let's get another one here. We're just a starting center away, aged badly. They didn't look. They didn't look good tonight. I'm not here to defend a team that didn't look good. Thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate you. They didn't look good. I got no defense on this one. They didn't look good. All right. Well, we'll tell you who does look good. Brad Wallace and the Walls Room. They always look good. Always look good. Shout out to Brad Wallace and the Walls Room. I'll be broadcasting from their podcast studio coming up on Friday. I've mentioned this to you guys before. I hope you guys don't need them. There's a very simple website that you can go on, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. If you go to the website, you can fill out a free consultation. You or a family member is in a serious injury, a wrongful death case. You're not sure what to do. You're intimidated. It's a daunting process. You're just kind of begging for somebody to steer you in the right direction. We got you. Brad Wallace and the Walls Firm. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Proud partner of the channel, proud partner of the show. Has been with me since I was on radio and continues to show love and loyalty to the channel. So I'm very appreciative of that. The official injury attorney of the channel. So shout out to him and shout out to the partnership here. So thank you for that. All right. You know, one thing I have yet to even do, and I don't know how I gone this long without doing it. If you don't want to listen to me talk about the San Antonio Spurs, I would turn off your station. What was that, Mike Tyson? Turn off your station. It's probably the worst Tyson impression you're ever going to hear. San Antonio Spurs are a good team. You know, there are times where part of my job, and I enjoy this part, I enjoy watching other teams as well, right? I want to see what the rest of the Western Conference looks like. I want to see how other teams are performing. Spurs are legit. I mean, let me just kind of walk you through some of their guys. Stephon Castle had 30, 10, and 6 on the Lakers tonight. How old is he? The other part of most of their players here, they're all so young. He's 21 years old and plays with, there's this confidence that he has, likes contact, will take the ball to the basket, will hit jumpers, will hit some threes, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. 30, 10, and 6 for Stephon Castle. All right, let's talk about some more players. Keldon Johnson had 17 and 8 off the bench. Julian Champagne, I mentioned, with the 16 and 7 off the bench as well. Dylan Harper, who might be, I mean, I don't want to call him underrated. Obviously, he's a number 2 pick. This is his first year in the NBA. He's a rookie. He's a freaking stud, too. Dylan Harper looks like very shifty, can get to the basket. I mean, they got 2 elite guards in those 2 players alone. And I'm talking about De'Aaron Fox. I'm talking about Dylan Harper, almost identical type of players. But Stephon Castle had the 30. De'Aaron Fox had 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, nothing crazy there. But De'Aaron Fox is a phenomenal player. He was so good with the Sacramento Kings for a long time. This is all without Wemby. Harrison Barnes, a nice player. They got a couple of bigs that will, do whatever the team needs to do. They're a nice squad. They're a really, really good team. There was a big portion of the start of the postgame show where a lot of Spectrum kept kind of emphasizing, like, hey, this team's got talent. I couldn't agree more. Okay, so here's what we got coming up. Next game for the Lakers, it's going to be on Sunday at 5 p.m. So Lakers at the Suns. It's kind of a weird one, right? From a scheduling perspective, we were all kind of waiting to see what's going to happen and who are the Lakers going to play. I mean, everybody just kind of thought Lakers were going to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. Did not happen. It was the Spurs that win tonight. So that means the Lakers next game, they're going to play Sunday at 5, and then they don't play another game until Thursday. So that's it. They'll play on Sunday. They'll play again on Thursday, and then we'll obviously go from there. So it should be kind of an interesting couple of days. Lakers will have a few days off. Obviously, today's only Wednesday, so no game Thursday, no game Friday, no game Saturday. They'll play Sunday, and then there'll be another 4 days before they play again. So I guess the good thing for the Lakers is they're going to get some time to figure some stuff out, some practice and everything else, and try to kind of figure out where exactly they are. They got a phenomenal record, but is that record a little bit of is it a little bit of fool's gold? Is it a little bit of is it look better than it really is? We'll have to wait and see. But next game for the Lakers, they got the Phoenix Suns. Okay, a couple scores around the NBA. I want to just obviously today was an NBA Cup quarterfinals, so the Eastern Conference was set yesterday. Orlando and New York. And then today, the two games, Lakers obviously lose their game. And in the West, it was the Oklahoma City Thunder, 138-89 over the Phoenix Suns. Now, Devin Booker didn't play, but I don't think Devin Booker was going to be the difference of 49 points. As good as Devin Booker is, I don't think he was going to be the difference of 49 points. So when you kind of sit here and you let the dust settle, the Lakers will take on the Suns in their next game. And then in the in the semifinals in Vegas, it's going to be the San Antonio Spurs versus Oklahoma City Thunder. Maybe an interesting game. I don't know. Maybe Wemby comes back. A lot of people thought Wemby was going to be coming back tonight. Obviously, that didn't happen. You clearly can't run with these guys, and JJ still refuses to play Vando or Thero. This is getting ridiculous. Yeah, I've had this conversation, and I think it's a thoughtful conversation. I think it's an easy conversation. They're going to have to make changes. The questions are just going to be, are they going to be able to negotiate with teams out there that are just interested in expiring contracts, cleaning up their books, and some draft compensation? That's going to be the question. And that's not even to say, look, Lakers can hang with a lot of teams in the West. That's not the question. But if you want to make some real noise and you have a team that can't play defense on a consistent basis, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate the super right there. You got my coffee tomorrow. Thank you for that. See you all after the trade deadline. Where are you going? Been a member for 10 months. Where the hell are you going? By the way, members, tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., we're doing a show. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're doing a member show. So any members out there, I put out a post a little bit earlier. If you're not a member and you want to be a member, would love to have you. We're going to kind of game plan for the show on Thursday, game plan for the show on Friday. I got an announcement I want to make. I'm going to make it to the members first on a new partner that we have starting here very, very soon. I'm going to have people who are smarter than me show me how to do a Discord thing so we can have a community on there. And I'm going to be doing that for members as well. So we're going to be drinking a lot of coffee before the original show starts at 8 a.m. Kobe Price of the OC Register is going to join the show tomorrow about 8:30 or so. He's going to come on the show as well. Let's get another one in here. In the 2024-2025 season, the only player selected to an NBA All-NBA team who had a negative plus-minus for the season was LeBron James, minus 54. Damn, John just can't do it, man. John, do me a favor. Find one good thing about LeBron. One. Type it in. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. Your fingers are going to be struggling. But you can do it. I got faith in you. I got faith. John, thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate it. Just one thing. I don't even care what it is. Just anything. Anything. All right, let's see what we got here. No, these are assets. Expiring contracts are assets to teams in the NBA. They might want to clean off their books and they want your expiring contract. So those can be assets. And definitely, obviously, listen, given picks in today's NBA, those are, if you got a good front office, those are assets. All right, let's read a couple more of these here. Just come in here, 7 a.m. It's okay. It's fine. I got to do a prep show for the with the members. It was going to be 7:15. Now I'm just going to make it 7 a.m. once a week. You get up a little early. You got to get a little cup of coffee a little bit earlier. Easy money. All right. I think we are coming to the end of the show here. So we were, yeah, I was curious to see when the next game was going to be. So we got it. So it's going to be Sunday. And that's kind of how today went. Getting a little quiet here at Crypto. Not going to lie to everybody. Getting a little quiet over here. Getting a little quiet. All right, time to get out of here. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Thank you for being here. I know it was not exactly what everybody was looking for, but it's all good. Comes with the territory. Lakers take the L today. Give the Spurs a lot of credit. That's a good basketball team. I'll give them credit. Thank you for being a part of the show. I will see everybody. If you're a member at 7 a.m., if you're not a member, you're going to join the regular show at 8 a.m. So thank you for being a part of the show. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And we will take off and get out of here at Crypto. Spurs over the Lakers, 132 to 119.